All right. Hello, everybody. We are live with Abby from WisRoc Learning Center today.
Hi, everyone.
All right. And so Abby and I go like way back from like 2005 when we were both like assistant managers at Walmart.
Yes.
So, yeah, way back. And her son was in my wedding years ago. So, tell us a little bit about your business. How did you get started with it?
A little backstory. A few years ago, I literally have the business card sitting here. I had a dream of starting Patterson Tutoring. So we made the business cards and everything, me and my middle child, and it never came to fruition because of the fact that I was always so busy doing other things. But people would approach me, that I worked with in the school system and be like, I need you to tutor my kids because I've seen the things you've done with your children and stuff like that. So it never came to fruition, like I said. But with the pandemic happening and I had a little more time on my hand at home, I did some research and I was like, instead of naming it after myself, that sounds too kind of me full of myself, I reached out to my brother and I was like, I have this idea to start a tutoring business. What name should you think I should give the business? And I was telling him the name that I had in the business card. So these business cards been sitting in my house for like 5 years, y'all. 5 years. So this is how long I've been working on this. Is not something that just happened overnight. So he was like, you know what? I have a cousin and everybody that I know is naming it after the towns we grew up with back home in my country because I'm from actually South America, Guyana. And he was like, why don't you research the name of the city that you grew up in back home and see if anybody has that name already copyrighted or, as a business. So when I went on the website and I put it in, it was nobody that had it. So I was like, let me go ahead and get an EIN number and get this going because I don't want nobody to steal the name. And that is how it all came to fruition and, became a business for me where I reached out to people via Facebook and Instagram that I knew. And I put it out there and people would reach out to me. Like over the summer, I was really busy tutoring kids over the summer and stuff like that. So it's not something that just happened overnight. Right. It's something that was in the works for a long time, but it just happened that we were a little slowed down. So I had time to put into it.
That's good. So I know you have this teaching background and everything.
Yeah.
We want to get a little into that.
Yeah.
In the place,
It was weird how I got started because I always tell people, if anybody had told me when I started college that teaching would have been my profession, I would be like, no. But from dealing with my oldest son, being at the school that he was extremely smart, and they actually thought something was wrong with him when nothing was really wrong with him. Right. So one of the teachers, I would never forget her name, was Miss Giles. And she was like, I would really, really like for you to pull your son out of this specific school. I'm not going to call no name about the school. And she was like, because he is not going to flourish here. So I literally put him in the the lottery, and he got pulled for Robert Churchwell magnet. And after that, I put him in the charter school system. And that's where I saw the biggest growth for my oldest son, was putting him in the charter school system. And then when he started to go to Robert Churchwell, I was actually going to school to be a pharmacist.
I remember that.
And I would leave college and go volunteer at his school. And one of the teachers approached me one day. She's like, every time I look up, you're at this building. What are you doing here? I said, well, I just come and volunteer and help out at the school, whatever. She was like, why don't you become a substitute teacher? And I was like, what is a substitute teacher? Because I've never heard of it before. And she was like, well, I'm going to walk you through the process of becoming a substitute teacher. And I remember we did it together when we took the test and all of that. And I became a substitute teacher. And then I got into one of the teaching programs, the first teaching program that Metro was actually running. And from that, I progressed into going back to school to get my early childhood development degree, my bachelor's. And then I decided I really wanted to work with kids that was on the lower end of the spectrum, because that's where I think I flourish best.
Right.
So I went back and got my master's at Lipscomb University in special education.
Right.
So yes, so I work with special education students because that's what I like to do. I like the higher ed kids, but I love the lower ed kids. Yes.
Mm-hmm. That is good. So I guess tell us a little bit about, make sure we cover everything today. What ages do you work with, like when you do your tutoring?
So I like to work with kindergarten through 6th. I'm pushing it a little bit into the 7th and the 8th, but I know my limitations. So I stay within that range from pre-kindergarten to the 7th to the 6th grade. So right now I have like a lot of 5th graders that just left, a lot of 5th graders that just left the 4th grade. So I've been working with a lot of those kids because they've had like a lot of issues with a lot of the new content that they're getting at school right now. So I'm able to best serve them. So a lot of the kids that I'm working with is like my special education population and my 5th graders that just left 4th. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds awesome. We'll definitely reach out if you're looking for a tutor, K through 6. She'll be here to help you. And just also, I guess if you're able to just give us some information on how to reach you on social media or your email information.
My email address is wisroclearningcenter@gmail.com. I'm working on my website right now to get it up and running. My telephone number is 615-423-8226. That's my number that you can reach me at anytime. And I'm on Facebook, WisRoc Learning Center, and I'm on Instagram at WisRoc Learning Center as well. Yeah, and those are the platform I'm on. I'm not doing Twitter or none of those. Just Instagram.
Oh, okay. Instagram and Facebook. All right, we'll definitely reach out to her and contact her for services that you need for tutoring. And we'll definitely also, put the information in there as well on the post with your email and tag your all your social media pages. And definitely glad to see you getting your business going. And
yeah, I'm excited too. It took a while. It looked like something that happened overnight. Like people would see me and say, "Oh my God, I'm so excited for you. This happened so quickly." And I'm like, no, it didn't. It was something that was in the process. And I think with all of this happening, to be honest, Sharice, it's like it slowed me down, I think, enough for me to realize like this is something I always wanted, but I never had the time to put into it.
Right.
I always had the time for my own kids outside of work, but I had enough time to slow down now and be like, okay, Abby, this is something that you always wanted to do, which eventually I want to branch off and I want to have a pre-K, because I've noticed there's a gap with our pre-K scholars that when they come into kindergarten, there's not enough work done on the lower end for kids. Like a lot of them come to us, they don't know to write their names, they don't know their letters, they don't know their sounds. So if you get them at an early age where you can do that work, and you can see a lot more growth by the time they get to kindergarten. So there's not so much work that teachers have to put in to get them to where they need to be. So eventually I would really, really love to have a pre-K. I'm building for a pre-K, actually. Yeah. I'm throwing it out to the universe. Anybody listening, that would be my objective. Yeah, it's to have pre-K working with kids that need that extra support that is going to kindergarten, get a year of pre-K. Because I noticed I've visited pre-Ks and they're like playing. Like, we don't have time to play. Like, we need to be writing. We need to be doing real work.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's really a great need to have more pre-K programs. I think a few years back, they opened up some more pre-K programs for students, because a lot of times they just go to kindergarten with no pre-K and nobody's working with them at home. And it's like they're just playing around, having fun. And so, yeah, that is a need.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. And that's the real reason, because it's a gap between African Americans and Caucasians. There is a gap. There's no denying it. And there's a gap between being poor and being rich. There's that gap. it doesn't matter if you're black, white, but a lot of times we see it in the minority community where the kids are coming in at a disadvantage.
Right.
And it kind of breaks my heart because I'm not saying I'm the best parent, but I have put in a lot of work with my kids because I knew what it was going to take for them to be successful when they get to, the grade, the different grade levels. So
Right.
I didn't want them to not know how to read. I didn't want them to know, the fundamental things I wanted them to have. Because
Right.
I knew if you don't have the fundamentals, you're always playing catch up. And I didn't want my sons and the kids that I work with to be playing catch up at all. They need to be either on grade level or above grade level. And that was always in the back of my mind that I was always thinking about with the kids that I work. They have to be successful. It's not an option or a choice.
Exactly. And I know you have worked hard. We all work hard with our kids and stuff.
And your son.
Right. Right. We don't have time to be playing these games, grades up, and
I don't want to go to Miss Abby's house. No.
Right. Exactly. So definitely appreciate that, and definitely enjoy you being here today on this platform. It was really fun, and it was great to it's great to see that how far you have grown. I do remember.
Yes, sure.
You know where I'm getting at.
Ooh, girl, we could talk a lot of stories.
I said, oh, I don't know about this.
40 years of friendship. 40 years of friendship.
Yeah, so I will say that you have blossomed a lot throughout the years, and I'm
yes,
so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's coming together nicely, like I say, and if anybody want to reach out if they need help, and I can gear them towards the right direction if it's not something they're capable of, tutoring on a regular basis. I'm able to guide them in that direction, show them the necessary work that they need for their kids to be successful. Those are things that, I can consult with them if they need that for their kids, because some people just don't know. They want to help, but sometimes they don't know what direction to go in to get that help. So, if they need that help or whatever it takes for their kids to be successful, they can just reach out and ask me and I'll be there.
Right. Awesome. Well, you all reach out to Miss Abby here with WisRoc Learning Center. And once again, so glad to have you on here today.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Well, I'm going to let you go now.
Yeah.
All right. We'll chat.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks, Sharice, for having me. It was a pleasure getting my information out there for folks to reach out and see what I can do best to help them and their children.
Exactly. Well, we'll see you all later.
And bye, guys.
For some more showcasing other small businesses. Bye.
Thank you.